is this bullpen situation and what
Mhm.
we're going to be seeing from the bullpen. And now we get a full year of David Bednar. We get a full year of Duvall.
Yep.
That's going to be a bigger thing for the team that they get a full year under their belt as Yankees. That's going to be a good thing to see. But what maybe and it's probably, I mean, I would say consistently it's the most volatile thing in Yankee land. It hasn't been in our previous years. It hasn't been volatile. We've had more times than not a consistent bullpen, but the last 2 years, not so much. And especially
Yep.
last year, it's been a little bit more glaring. So I think this is also a more under the radar situation that they need to have a good bullpen because last year there were a lot of times where the Yankees got screwed because of the bullpen.
Yep.
Now they don't have Devin Williams anymore. They don't, it's not the days of Clay Holmes blowing saves. So we're hoping David Bednar can be a real rock for them at the back end of the rotation. I was telling you before we got on that for some of the best odds in the AL, David Bednar is working with the best odds for most saves in the American League. So he is going to get opportunities, and I think having that person at the back of the bullpen is going to be big. But the rest of the pen, we're going to see what Fernando Cruz can do again. We're going to see what Duvall can do. Tim Hill has been a studs, and then there's going to be some pieces that we have to talk about. But what are you thinking of the bullpen, man? I think it's going to be a little bit up in the air, but we're going to find out. There's only one way to find out. Play the games, man.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and I think this is just me just trying to understand how the Yankees operate and looking at the body of, the last 8 or 9 seasons virtually. I think that I do truly believe outside of Bednar and Duvall and maybe like a Tim Hill slash Fernando Cruz, I think they have two bullpens every year. I think they have a pre All-Star game, All-Star break bullpen and a post All-Star break bullpen. We saw the post All-Star break bullpen kind of shoot them in the foot last year because Duvall was a mess. Bird was kind of a mess. Luke Weaver stunk it up. Devin Williams actually ended up coming around a little bit, but uh, I'm not going to judge the bullpen as if these guys are going to be part of the solution through 162. I will say I'm confident in Bednar and Duvall. I'm confident in Tim Hill. Um, I'm going to be honest, like Fernando Cruz kind of scares me because like he's really like a trick pitcher, a trick pitch type of pitcher where he's gonna wait for you to hopefully swing at that splitter that's not gonna ever be a strike. Um, I'm more so waiting to see what it looks like in July. Like, where is Luis Heel? What is Cade Winquest? What is LeGrand? Because he's like, I think he's everyone's prime candidate to like shove a 103 mile an hour dude in the bullpen right now. I think that is a thing. Um, that I don't know. I'm not concerned about the bullpen, but there's minimal depth here in comparison to the outfield and the rest of the team and the rest of the pitching staff is like, okay, so if we're down 5-2 in the fifth, um, who's coming in to pitch? Is that a Jake Bird? Is that a Yarby? Yeah. Paul Blackburn, like that to me doesn't feel like you're actively trying to win a game. So you're looking at like your top four as like, I mean, Bednar and Duvall are only coming in and tying or winning situations. So then you're really like, okay, Fernando Cruz, Tim Hill, Jake Bird. Are those my guys that I'm bringing in when I'm down 2 runs, 1 or 2 runs, trying to win a game against the Sox? Like, I don't know. It's not much of an analyzation by me. This is kind
No,
of me
but
just going off the beaten
I
path.
do think that there's a good what the most important thing to take away from that is, well, before you made a good point that they have a pre All Star break bullpen, they have a post All Star break bullpen. Also, that's somewhat in our favor this year, although we have to wait to see the games happen. The
Mhm.
Yankees easily lost close to 10 games thanks to Devin Williams. Now,
And you could throw another 5 in Luke Weaver too, to be honest.
and so
3 more in Duvall.
if you're saying if you're looking at this bullpen, you got him sitting on the bench and say, just don't do that. And that, hey, we got to see baseball's a weird sport. Don't do that. And if you think that if the Yankees don't have that happen last year, you could say that they win the division. It's that simple. You say if a few of those games go in the other way, the Yankees win the division. And so it was a glaring problem thanks to some just individual problems. But I think that we're hoping that David Bednar, we're hoping that Duvall, and like you said, the route to which they get to those guys is going to be something that they have to allow to play out. But you're thinking, okay, you subtract some of which is weird because Devin Williams at the start of the year was a head case. And you're thinking, okay, addition by subtraction, you got a clean slate with a lot of these guys. You're saying Duvall, okay, forget about some of the times that you had at the end, in the second half of the season. David Bednar, you were good. That you're looking at Jake Bird, okay, you sucked last year, but we're going to hope to stay with a clean slate. Let's see what you can do. And then again, when they get down to July and they get to August, this is going to potentially look like a different bullpen because it ended up happening last year. The guys that we're talking about at the start of the year weren't there until July. They weren't there until August. So, yes, you just got to hope that they have their shit together in some of these early parts of the season and then that they can build when you get to the summer point of the trade deadline. That's the way I'm looking at it. And you just have to allow stuff to play out. I know a lot of people love the passion of Fernando Cruz, but you make a good point that he can be a gamble sometimes. That he in some of the pitching situations that you get scared with him. So you just have to allow it to play out, and it's going to be a different bullpen by July and August, and then you just got to get it to that point because we know that Brian Cashman is going to make additions and he's going to make other moves there. So that's
like, what do we think? Do we think they're core guys who is like, okay, we're building the bullpen around these guys? In their Yankee head, I think they look at it and go Bednar, Duvall, Cruz, Tim Hill, and I honestly think they might throw Jake Bird in that mix too.
I agree with that. Yep. Just hope Jake Bird isn't as bad as he was last year.
Yeah, and then they look at Yarborough and Blackburn and go, okay, you guys are our swingmen / mop-up duty guys / you can slot into the rotation if for whatever need be. And then they look at those top 5 I just named and go, okay, well, if we can add LeGrand Hay or Luis Heel to that mix and maybe Cade Winquest pans out, now we feel deep. You know, I'm just that's what I think they're thinking is kind of my assumption of it.